I've got Facebook pulled up here. I've got a few things that I already saw that I'd like to talk about, but I also want to scroll through and see if we can find anything that's just absolutely insane and might be worth actually picking up. I saw one bundle that we're probably going to definitely have to do. So let's go ahead and just scroll through some of these and we'll hop back our way through it. First off, this Mario Kart looked absolutely insane. 250 bucks is pretty okay, I guess. Probably if it was 100, this would be cooler, but it is only for a kid, so it is what it is. If this was like a go-kart, it would be insane, but I saw this, I thought it was pretty cool, but it's not anything we need to pick up. Then we've got a Jungle Green Nintendo 64 console controller system here for 175. So let's go ahead and head over to price charting and look up the Jungle Green N64. 160. Okay, so 175 is not bad. It does have a memory card, but I don't think it's worth it. If this was like 150, it'd probably be a good deal, but it looks like the controller probably has problems with the screw on the center part of the controller. I don't know what the handle, I don't know what to call it, but I'd probably pass on it. This, however, is pretty interesting. This is a huge Wii bundle for $350. It better be huge. I didn't look at any of the pictures. I just saw it and I thought it would be interesting. Obviously, there is the stand, spot for a nunchucks, Wiimotes, the system itself. Let's go through some of these pictures. Okay, so it's got 4 Wiimotes, 6 nunchucks, the famous, most sought after Wii Fit board, and then a bunch of games and the system. I don't think this is going to be worth it, to be honest with you. Also, pretty normal stuff here. The console, the power cord, the adapter, and the RCA. And what looks maybe to be like a game attachment accessory. I was going to say maybe Guitar Hero, but I don't think it is. And then the sensor bar. You got 4 Wiimotes there and a bunch of games. Honestly, $20 game, $20 game, $20 game, $20 game. That's probably 80 to 100 bucks in games here. The console itself, the stand is pretty cool. This is probably like max, like highest price, like $200. So $350 is just way too much for this. Yeah, I'm not seeing the value here. And Wii Sports, I think, is not included. Maybe it is, actually. Someone just wrote on it. I'm not sure there, but this is definitely overpriced. This next one here, this next tab is what I think I'm going to pick up. So I'm going to skip it for now. We'll come back to it when we get to it. We've got an orange Nintendo 64 Pikachu edition. Pretty cool, but I feel like that might even be too expensive. I don't think these are worth that much money, if I remember correctly. I think they're up there, but $250 seems a bit overpriced. Let's see. $250 is actually right on. I thought it was going to be a little too much, but here we are. It looks like that actually seems to be pretty spot on, and they got the controller. This is probably worth picking up if you're looking for one of these, but honestly, I'm not. Then this caught my eye because it was with the TV, which I thought was pretty interesting. We've got the TV, the NES, the Zapper, 2 controllers, the power supply RF cord, 10 games. Let's see what those games look like. Ooh, this one's boxed, it seemed like. That makes it a little bit better, but I'm still not there with the price, I don't think. There's nothing here that just stands out that's worth a lot of money. So for $280, maybe this one's close. If this was closer to like $200, I'd probably be happier. I don't think I would pick it up, to be honest, at that price though. However, there's always some good stuff here. Let's see if we can find anything else. I'm not really seeing very crazy deals though. I have one saved that we'll talk about, but let's start off with this Xbox 360 bundle. $2 each isn't a bad deal, especially those Spider-Man games and Midnight Club, definitely worth it. Was there anything else here? I try to stay away from loose disc games, and I have no clue what Create is. So these right here probably make the $20 worth it if you've got a 360. But then on top of that, you got all these awesome games. Now, Halo 1 and 2, absolutely amazing. Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3. You've got Medal of Honor, Frontline, and Rising Sun. Both of those games were absolutely insane when they came out. Brothers in Arms, you got Jade Empire right there, and Namco Museum. For $20, this one's not a bad deal. If you're looking to kind of beef up an Xbox or an Xbox 360 collection, $20 is not going to be that bad on this one, to be honest with you. Then we've got an overpriced, probably Super Nintendo lot. Obviously, 9 games. Sorry, I was going to say 6. And the yellowest Super Nintendo I have ever seen. Ooh, okay, and it does have that drawer, which is pretty cool, but I think 140, there's not really any games that stand out. Maybe these are not bad realistically. So if you say $10 each, you're talking $90 there. Then you're talking another, what is that, 7? So $160 in games. Maybe let's just round it to 200. So maybe this bundle is not as bad as I thought, but that is a really, really, really yellow Super Nintendo console. So we're just going to move on from that. And it leaves us with this Intellivision, which has a bunch of games, but for $200, there's no way you could get me to buy this. If this was like $40 at a garage sale, I would probably still try to talk them down, but it is what it is. I've got some Intellivision games, but I don't think it's worth $200. The one thing I am thinking about picking up is this PlayStation 2 lot for only $10. They're just downsizing, and it ships for $6. I don't want to scroll anymore because I don't want to give you any information of the seller or anything like that. But for $10 plus $6 ship, this is $16 for 6 really pretty decent PlayStation 2 games. You've got Sphinx, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. Medal of Honor, Rising Sun is fun, but I don't really need it. And SOCOM 2 is fun as well if you're into that stuff. But for $16, this is definitely worth it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buy this. This one does ship to me, so I'm going to ship it to me. And then when I get it in a few days, we'll come back here, talk about it, check out the discs, make sure everything works. But hopefully we can pick this up because this deal is pretty insane. We'll also talk about how much this is actually worth once I get everything and test it. So let's do that now.
Several days later.
After a few days, the box just came in. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what it all came with and make sure everything's in good condition. Obviously, this should be pretty good. It's just 6 PlayStation 2 games, but just to make sure, we're going to go ahead and open it up and check it out. There's like a little duck here. Check this out. Check this out. Let's see. Will it focus? This little duck was in it. I don't know what that's about, but I'm not going to complain. That's pretty cool. As well as a bunch of paper and bubble wrap around the games there. So let's go ahead and pull that out here, and we'll push this to the side, and we'll check out all of these games. For $16, this is a really good PlayStation 2 deal. First off, we've got The Hobbit here. Let's check it out. Okay, everything is in here, and it even has the card from Smog on it, so that is totally awesome. This is a cool game. Definitely a fun one if you've never played it. Hobbit is definitely awesome. Then we've got SOCOM 2, which is probably one of the games that I'm least interested in. However, it is complete and in good condition as well. Then we've got Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. and it is also complete. Every time I find a complete PlayStation 2 game, it shocks me nowadays because so many people just don't have them. Then we've got Lord of the Rings Two Towers, which again is complete. All of these games I think are complete if I remember correctly. We've got the Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. This is also complete. Like I said, all of these are complete. And then last but not least, we've got Medal of Honor Rising Sun, and it is complete as well. And as you can tell, this for 16 bucks was definitely well worth it. However, let's hop onto the computer and we'll talk about why this is worth it and how much this is actually worth. I've got price charting pulled up right here, so let's go ahead and start off with Medal of Honor Rising Sun. I always gotta filter by the console just to make things a lot faster, and this is the regular one, so right off the bat, we've got $7, which I know is cheap. However, it is definitely worth it because of how cheap this whole bundle was. So that $7 for that is not too bad. Then we've got SOCOM 2 US Navy SEALs. This one is going to be another one of those cheap games. Honestly, it's not worth much, but for the sake of this video, I feel like it's not that bad here. Let's go ahead and see if we can find the second one for the PlayStation 2. And yet again, this game's not worth very much. It's only worth $6, so we're going to add that to the total. And then we are going to look up the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I should have sorted, but I just started scrolling. This is worth around $9 complete, so we're going to go ahead and add that as well. Then we've got Prince of Persia Warrior Within, which I think might be, again, worth around the $8 to $10 range, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be worth a ton. It definitely adds up when you add everything up, making this bundle definitely well worth it, especially if you're trying to grow a game collection. There we've got $11 right off the bat, so that is pretty good there. So $11, I'm really happy about that. We're going to The Hobbit. This one I think is around the $10 mark as well, complete. So far, The Warrior Within basically is what our money was for this whole thing, costing 16 bucks. So let's go ahead and check out The Hobbit for the PlayStation 2, because some consoles are much more expensive than others, and I think the PlayStation version is around, I was going to say 10 bucks, but here it is, complete $9, totally awesome. So go ahead and add that in. Then last but not least, we've got Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. So let's go ahead and see how much that is worth. And every time, oh, I spelled it completely wrong. I was going to say, I spelled this and it looks weird anyways, and it does. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Is that an I? I think that might be an I. Oh, yep. I completely even did spell it wrong. I was like, I spell it wrong all the time. No, I actually did. So let's see if we can find it on the PlayStation 2 here. It looks like it's worth $8. So with Sphinx being $8, that means in total, this whole PlayStation 2 bundle is worth $50 complete, and I only paid $16. Now, I know these games aren't worth a ton of money. However, if you're trying to grow a game collection, these are actually some pretty good games. I could probably do without SOCOM and Medal of Honor just because those games aren't games I'm going to replay ever anytime soon. But the rest of these games are definitely well worth picking up. And for 16 bucks, I would have picked up those four by themselves. So this was definitely a good pickup, but let's go ahead and see if we can get these tested and see if they'll work by themselves. First off, we've got Medal of Honor here. We're going to go ahead and open it up, plop it in the system, and see if it will play. I don't have any controllers hooked up, so hopefully this all works out right out of the gate, so I don't have to hook one up. Right off the bat here, you can see that we do have the logo, so I'm counting that as working. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out, and we'll go ahead and load up SOCOM and see if we can get this working now. I think I may have to reset the system here. So we'll see if this ends up working or not. There we also have the logo, so I'm counting that as a win. Now, obviously, normally I would test all of these, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to go through them really quickly. We've got Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Let's get that tested and see if that's going to work here. And there we have Lord of the Rings working, so let's go ahead and pop that out of the system and keep going here. I don't want to spend too much time going through these, but we've got Prince of Persia here, Warrior Within. Let's go ahead and get that in the system and go ahead and go through and see if this one's going to work. Hopefully it is, and they all work. So far, we're 3 for 3, so hopefully these last 3 can work because these are the ones that really are worth picking up for me at least. And there we go. We've got the logo loaded up there. I'm going to go ahead and move this controller so I can open up the disk drive. And we're 4 for 4, which is pretty promising. Now, I hope we get the last 2 here. We've got The Hobbit we're going to go ahead and plop in there. And let's go ahead and hope that this works, because I'm really hoping all of these work, because this was an absolute steal if all 6 of these work. And there we've got the start screen for The Hobbit, which is very exciting. Last but not least, we're going to try to get Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy to work. Hopefully this does, and if it does, all of these will work, which is absolutely insane. Let me go ahead and move this over here and hope that this last game will load. And there we have it. We have all of these games working, which is absolutely awesome. So there we have it. All 6 games ended up working, which is totally awesome. For only $16, this was definitely well worth it. In total, all of this being $50. So I'm glad I ended up finding this on Facebook Marketplace. But I know some people have problems finding stuff in their area, which is why I bought this shipped to me from there, which is totally awesome and a great deal. So keep an eye out on Facebook Marketplace. You'll probably find some good deals because I've definitely found some. So I'm going to get out of here because I got to go play some more of these a little bit. So check out that video if you haven't already. But this was definitely worth it. What do you think? Would you have picked these games up? Now, I could probably do without these 2. However, the rest of these games are absolutely awesome, and it was well worth picking up. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and go play some more games. So check out that video out if you haven't already.